Hey everyone, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt completely alone in your journey? Have you ever looked around and realized that no one truly understands the fire burning inside you? The dreams that keep you awake at night? It's terrifying, isn't it? To stand alone? To walk a path with no guiding hands, no reassuring voices, no footsteps to follow. But let me tell you this. Greatness is not built in comfort, and success is not handed to those who wait for support. It is created in solitude, in resilience, in the silent battles that no one sees. Being alone on the journey to success is often seen as a disadvantage, but in reality, it is one of the greatest strengths a person can have. Solitude allows for deep self-reflection, an opportunity to understand oneself, and a chance to cultivate inner resilience. When there is no external validation, no support system, and no one to rely on, a person is forced to dig deep within themselves to find strength. This process may feel isolating, but it builds a level of self-sufficiency that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. When a person embraces solitude, they stop seeking approval from others and begin making decisions that align with their true purpose. They no longer wait for permission to chase their dreams because they understand that their journey is theirs alone to walk. Many people fear being alone because they associate it with loneliness. But there is a difference. Loneliness is a feeling, whereas solitude is a state of being that can be empowering. It is in solitude that creativity thrives, clarity emerges, and true self-awareness develops. Without distractions, a person can focus entirely on their goals, set their priorities straight, and eliminate the noise that often leads people astray. In moments of solitude, there are no external influences dictating what success should look like. Instead, a person learns to define success on their own terms. This ability to stay true to oneself, despite the absence of external validation, is a rare and powerful trait that sets high achievers apart from the rest. Being alone also means taking full ownership of one's actions, decisions, and progress. There is no one else to blame when things don't go as planned, and there is no safety net to fall back on. While this may seem daunting, it is actually a blessing in disguise. When a person knows that they are solely responsible for their own success, they stop making excuses and start taking action. They become more disciplined, more focused, and more determined to make things work. This level of accountability forces personal growth and resilience, which are essential for long-term success. Challenges are inevitable, and when facing them alone, a person must develop problem-solving skills that they might not have otherwise acquired. When there is no one to turn to for advice or support, they are forced to think critically, adapt quickly, and find solutions on their own. This ability to navigate obstacles independently builds confidence and strengthens the belief that they are capable of handling anything that comes their way. Over time, this self-reliance becomes second nature, and they no longer fear challenges but embrace them as opportunities to grow. When a person embraces solitude, they also gain the ability to listen to their own intuition. In a world filled with opinions, expectations, and noise, it is easy to lose sight of what truly matters. But when a person spends time alone, they develop a deeper connection with their inner voice. They start trusting themselves more, making decisions with confidence, and following a path that aligns with their authentic self. This is a crucial aspect of success because true fulfillment comes not from achieving what others expect, but from pursuing what truly matters to oneself. Many of the most successful individuals in history have spent long periods alone, working tirelessly on their craft, their ideas, and their vision. They understood that solitude was not a limitation but a gift that allowed them to sharpen their skills, build their character, and stay focused on their mission. The ability to work alone, think independently, and rely on one's own strength is what separates those who merely dream from those who turn their dreams into reality. Believing in oneself is the foundation of every great achievement. Without self-belief, even the most talented and capable individuals struggle to take action, while those with unshakable confidence push forward despite challenges. The mind is the most powerful tool a person has, and the way one thinks about themselves directly impacts their ability to succeed. When someone believes they are capable, they act in ways that align with that belief. They take risks, seize opportunities, and refuse to be held back by doubt. On the other hand, when a person lacks belief in themselves, they hesitate, second-guess their abilities, and often give up before they even start. Self-belief does not come naturally to everyone. For many, it must be built through conscious effort and repeated action. It starts with recognizing that external validation is not necessary to move forward. People often wait for someone else to tell them they are good enough before they pursue their goals. They look for encouragement, reassurance, and approval, but the truth is no amount of validation from others will matter if they do not believe in themselves first. Waiting for permission to succeed only delays progress. The most successful individuals do not wait for the world to approve of their dreams. They move forward with confidence, even when no one else understands their vision. Doubt and fear are natural, but they should not be allowed to dictate actions. Every person who has ever achieved something great has faced moments of uncertainty, but what sets them apart is their ability to push through that doubt. They choose to act despite their fears, and over time, this repeated action builds confidence. When a person continually shows up for themselves, they start to trust their own abilities. They realize that mistakes and failures do not define them, but rather, they're stepping stones toward improvement. Each time they overcome a challenge, their belief in themselves strengthens and they become more resilient. The way a person speaks to themselves plays a crucial role in developing self-belief. Negative self-talk destroys confidence, while positive reinforcement builds it. If a person constantly tells themselves that they are not good enough, that they will fail, or that they are not ready, they will eventually believe those thoughts and act accordingly. But if they start replacing those thoughts with affirmations of their own capability, their mindset begins to shift. Instead of thinking, I can't do this, they begin to say, I am capable of figuring this out. Instead of saying, I am not good enough, they say, I am constantly improving. These small shifts in self-talk have a profound impact over time. Surroundings also influence self-belief. People who constantly doubt themselves are often surrounded by individuals who reinforce that doubt. It is important to be mindful of the energy and opinions absorbed from others. Those who lack confidence in themselves often project their fears onto others, discouraging them from taking risks or pursuing big goals. Limiting exposure to negative influences and seeking out those who uplift and inspire can make a significant difference in strengthening belief. However, it is also essential to recognize that external support should never be the foundation of self-belief. It must come from within, built through actions, experiences, and a deep understanding of one's own worth. Taking action is one of the most effective ways to build self-belief. Confidence does not come from thinking about success. It comes from proving to oneself that they are capable. Even small steps toward a goal create momentum. The more a person takes action, the more evidence they gather that they can handle challenges, learn new skills, and grow. Every achievement, no matter how small, reinforces the belief that they are capable of more. Over time, this belief becomes so strong that no external doubt or failure can shake it. Motivation is often the spark that ignites the desire to achieve something great, but it is discipline that keeps the fire burning. Many people start their journey towards success feeling excited, driven, and eager to take on challenges. They set ambitious goals, create plans, and visualize their achievements. However, as time passes, the initial excitement fades, obstacles arise, and the journey begins to feel exhausting. This is where most people give up because they rely on motivation alone. Motivation is unpredictable. It comes and goes, influenced by mood, circumstances, and external factors. A person who depends on motivation will struggle to stay consistent because the moment they do not feel inspired, they will find an excuse to stop. Discipline, on the other hand, is what keeps a person moving forward even when they do not feel like it. It is the ability to show up every day, put in the work, and remain committed regardless of emotions. While motivation relies on feelings, discipline relies on habits. When a person builds discipline, they no longer need to wait until they feel ready. They train themselves to take action whether they feel like it or not. This shift in mindset separates those who achieve their goals from those who merely dream about them. It is easy to work hard when excitement is high, but true progress happens when a person continues to push forward even when everything feels difficult. Building discipline starts with setting clear and specific goals. A vague desire to succeed is not enough. A person must define exactly what they want to achieve and create a plan to get there. When goals are unclear, it becomes easy to lose focus and give up. But when a goal is well defined, it serves as a constant reminder of what needs to be done. Along with setting goals, creating a structured routine helps eliminate the need for motivation. When actions become habits, they no longer require willpower. A disciplined person does not wake up every day debating whether they should work on their goals. They do it automatically because it has become a non-negotiable part of their life. One of the biggest reasons people struggle with discipline is the desire for immediate results. In a world where everything is available instantly, patience has become rare. Many people give up too soon because they do not see progress fast enough. But true success is built through consistent effort over time. Small daily actions may not seem significant in the moment, but when compounded over weeks, months, and years, they lead to extraordinary results. Discipline requires a long-term mindset, the ability to keep going without immediate rewards. The person who stays consistent, even when progress is invisible, is the one who ultimately succeeds. Self-control is another crucial aspect of discipline. Distractions, temptations, and comfort zones constantly try to pull a person away from their goals. The ability to resist these distractions is what keeps a person on track. This does not mean eliminating all enjoyment from life, but rather making conscious choices about priorities. A disciplined person understands that temporary pleasures must sometimes be sacrificed for long-term success. They know that skipping one day of effort can easily turn into 2, then a week, then a month. This awareness helps them stay committed even when distractions are tempting. Accountability also plays a role in maintaining discipline. When a person holds themselves accountable for their actions, they become more committed to their goals. Tracking progress, setting deadlines, and reviewing performance regularly helps maintain focus. Some people find accountability through mentors or peers, but the most powerful form of accountability comes from within. The ability to be honest with oneself, to recognize when excuses are being made, and to push forward despite challenges is what truly defines discipline. Failure is often seen as something to fear, something to avoid at all costs. Many people allow failure to define them, believing that a single setback is proof that they are not capable. But in reality, failure is one of the most powerful tools for growth. Every setback, every mistake, and every rejection carries a lesson. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is how they interpret and respond to failure. Some people allow it to discourage them, while others use it as fuel to push even harder. When failure is seen not as an end but as a stepping stone, it becomes one of the greatest sources of strength. The journey toward any goal is never smooth. There will always be obstacles, unexpected challenges, and moments of doubt. Many people give up when things do not go according to plan, believing that struggle is a sign they are on the wrong path. But struggle is not an indication of failure. It is a sign of progress. The most successful individuals have faced rejection, disappointment, and failure countless times, yet they chose to keep going. They understood that each failure was shaping them, teaching them resilience, and preparing them for something greater. The ability to view setbacks as a necessary part of the process is what separates those who keep moving forward from those who quit. Every failure holds a lesson, but it takes the right mindset to see it. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" a better question is, "What can I learn from this?" Failure provides insight into what works and what does not. It reveals weaknesses that need to be strengthened, strategies that need to be adjusted, and habits that need to change. Without failure, growth would be impossible. If success came easily, without challenges, there would be no opportunity to develop resilience, adaptability, and wisdom. The struggle is what builds character, and failure is the teacher that provides the most valuable lessons. Fear of failure often stops people from even trying. The thought of making mistakes, being judged, or facing rejection can be paralyzing. But avoiding failure is not the same as avoiding pain. The pain of regret is far greater than the pain of trying and failing. A person who never takes risks, never steps out of their comfort zone, and never allows themselves to fail will never know their full potential. Growth happens in discomfort. The moment a person stops fearing failure and starts embracing it as part of the journey, they open themselves up to endless possibilities. Turning failure into fuel requires persistence. It is easy to stay motivated when things are going well, but true determination is tested in difficult times. When one plan fails, a new one must be created. When one door closes, another must be found or built. Success is not about never falling. It is about getting up every single time. The willingness to keep trying, to keep learning, and to keep believing is what ultimately leads to achievement. Failure does not define a person unless they allow it to. What truly defines them is their ability to rise again and again. Reframing failure as feedback rather than a final outcome is a powerful shift in mindset. Instead of seeing mistakes as proof of incompetence, they should be seen as opportunities for improvement. A person who studies their failures, understands what went wrong, and makes the necessary adjustments will always come back stronger. This process of trial and error is the foundation of mastery. No one achieves greatness without stumbling along the way. Every setback carries within it the potential for an even greater comeback. Relying on external validation can be dangerous because when no one is watching, it becomes easy to lose motivation. Many people only push themselves when they feel recognized or supported. But true success comes from the ability to keep going even in silence. Being your own cheerleader means finding the strength within yourself to stay motivated, to celebrate small wins, and to keep believing in your vision, even when no one else does. This is not about arrogance or overconfidence. It is about recognizing your own progress and understanding that external applause is not necessary for growth. There will be moments when no one acknowledges your efforts. People may not see the work you are putting in. They may not understand your sacrifices, and they may not recognize your achievements. This can be discouraging, but it is also an opportunity to build internal motivation. If success is dependent on praise from others, it becomes fragile. The moment external support disappears, so does the drive to keep going. But when motivation comes from within, it becomes unshakable. A person who can encourage themselves, remind themselves of their progress, and celebrate their own wins is someone who can sustain success in the long run. Self-encouragement starts with recognizing progress, no matter how small. Many people focus so much on the final goal that they fail to see how far they have already come. They measure success only by major achievements, ignoring the small victories that lead to them. Every step forward, no matter how minor, deserves recognition. Completing a difficult task, staying consistent with habits, overcoming a challenge, these are all signs of growth. By acknowledging these moments, self-confidence increases and the journey becomes more fulfilling. When a person starts to appreciate their own effort, they become less dependent on the opinions and validation of others. Mindset plays a crucial role in self-motivation. The way a person speaks to themselves matters. Negative self-talk destroys confidence, while positive reinforcement builds it. Many people are their own worst critics, constantly focusing on what they lack or what they did wrong. But if they learn to speak to themselves with kindness, to remind themselves of their strengths, and to encourage themselves the way they would encourage a friend, their mindset shifts. Instead of dwelling on failures, they start seeing them as learning experiences. Instead of feeling inadequate, they begin to trust their own abilities. This inner dialogue determines how a person feels about themselves and, ultimately, how they perform. It is also important to create personal milestones. Many people wait for others to acknowledge their progress before they feel successful. But waiting for external validation is unreliable. Setting personal benchmarks and rewarding oneself for reaching them can be a powerful motivator. These rewards do not have to be extravagant. They can be as simple as taking a break, treating oneself to something small, or just taking a moment to reflect on progress. The key is to acknowledge the hard work being put in and to appreciate the effort rather than waiting for someone else to do it. Another important aspect of self-motivation is understanding that not everyone will support the journey. Some people may not believe in the vision, while others may be indifferent. This is not a reflection of the worth of the goal, but rather an indication that self-belief must be strong enough to compensate for the lack of external encouragement. The most successful individuals in the world did not wait for permission to pursue their dreams. They believed in themselves, even when no one else did. They understood that their journey was their own and that they had to be their own source of motivation. The journey to achieving a goal alone requires an unwavering sense of perseverance. There will be days when everything feels difficult, when progress seems non-existent, and when doubt creeps in. These moments test commitment and resilience. Many people start strong, full of enthusiasm, but as time passes, obstacles begin to appear. Setbacks, failures, loneliness, and exhaustion become part of the process. This is where most people give up. They convince themselves that if the journey is this hard, maybe it was never meant to be. But true success is only achieved by those who push through these moments, refusing to let temporary struggles define their outcome. Perseverance means continuing even when the excitement fades. It means showing up even when results are not visible. The biggest mistake people make is expecting immediate success. They assume that if they put in the effort, they should see instant rewards. When those rewards do not come as quickly as they had hoped, discouragement sets in. But real growth happens in the unseen moments, the times when no one is watching, when there is no applause, when progress feels invisible. Each of these moments builds endurance, shaping a person into someone who does not give up at the first sign of difficulty. There will always be reasons to quit. The mind will find excuses, and external circumstances will create obstacles. Sometimes things will not go as planned and unexpected setbacks will appear. This is when the difference between those who succeed and those who give up becomes clear. The ones who persevere do not allow excuses to dictate their actions. They understand that setbacks are part of the process, that failure is just a lesson in disguise, and that every challenge they face is an opportunity to grow stronger. They do not wait for the perfect moment or ideal conditions. They keep going despite the difficulties. Self-discipline is a crucial part of perseverance. Many people rely on motivation, but motivation is temporary. It is unreliable because it fluctuates based on emotions, circumstances, and external factors. Discipline, on the other hand, is the ability to take action regardless of how one feels. A disciplined person does not allow emotions to control their progress. They wake up every day and do the work whether they feel like it or not. They understand that consistency, not occasional effort, leads to success. They create habits and routines that keep them moving forward. ensuring that their progress is not dependent on temporary bursts of motivation. Doubt is another challenge that must be faced. There will be moments when the mind questions whether the effort is worth it, whether the goal is even achievable. These doubts can be overwhelming, making it tempting to walk away from the goal altogether. But doubt is only powerful if it is believed. The strongest individuals recognize doubt for what it is, just a passing thought, not a fact. They do not allow doubt to dictate their actions. Instead, they remind themselves of why they started in the first place, focusing on the bigger picture rather than the temporary struggle. Loneliness is another reality of achieving a goal alone. There may not be anyone to offer constant encouragement, to celebrate small wins, or to provide reassurance during tough times. This is why internal strength is so important. A person who depends on external validation will struggle to keep going when support is not available. But those who learn to be their own source of encouragement, who find ways to uplift themselves, who remind themselves of their progress without needing outside approval, these are the individuals who persevere. They understand that the journey is theirs alone and that they must be their own biggest supporter.